I'm on the show, so please don't talk in the background.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Home Staging Talk Show Live. I am Jenny Norris, your host, and this is a special episode of Home Staging Talk Show Live where we'll be speaking with none other than the amazing Nikki Watson. And I do this here. Let's see. Where's her picture? Sorry. Anyway, so we'll be talking with Nikki Watson, just waiting for her to come on the show, and then we will bring her in. Before we get started, though, I do want to make some quick announcements and share some information with you. So Jonathan Miller's episode that we had started on Monday, he had technical difficulties. His Wi-Fi was not working, and he had let me know that, and we decided to try it anyway. So his show will now be on next Wednesday, the 27th at 11 a.m. Wednesday, the 27th at 11 a.m. We're going to talk over about his book, Why Underpricing Kills Design, and lots of other great information in that conversation. So make sure to tune in for that, and I'll be sharing that online as well, so you can remember to do that. And Jonathan, as always, is amazing. So I'll be happy to have him on. And do you want to make sure that you know that we have the Community Power Hour calls. This is for the entire home staging real estate design community. If you want to plug in, there's no cost to plug in. Our guest for May 27th in the afternoon will be Joanne Leonard-Weary. And of course, she's been in the industry many, many years. She's an icon. She is a color expert. And what she's going to be talking about is getting people through the door by making sure that your photos and so forth are stylized right, using color and as a marketing and so forth. And she's always so wise and has such great information to share. So make sure you tune in. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be 2 p.m. Mountain Standard, 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Central. And you don't want to miss Joanne. All the sessions are recorded for our podcast and uploaded onto our YouTube channel. And the replays are only for IAHSP members, though. So if you want to catch any of our past episodes with our amazing guests that we've had on, you have to join IAHSP, and it's only $250 a year, which is nothing compared to all the value you get. So that's one of the things we want to encourage people to do. Speaking of which, we have a series of guides that we have put out. The most recent one is Staging Occupied Homes. And these are not AI generated. These are written by me for the most part. And they are from a seasoned person who has experience in the industry. So the Occupied Home Staging Guide goes over consultations. It goes over how to do hands-on staging, how to price it, how to handle clients, the process, everything. There's even an agreement in there, an owner-occupied agreement. Should you put your items in a property, you want to make sure that they're protected. Even when the seller may not be the one paying for it, you need to make sure that they are taking care of your items. They are responsible. And that agreement is just one of the things in there in the guide. And it's probably about 20-something pages, almost 30 pages. So that's available now. It's all these guides are available at no charge for our members. And then non-members can purchase. We have ones for staging vacant houses, staging luxury vacant, building out a warehouse, growing into a warehouse, entering the staging industry, what to expect, working with real estate agents. There's a marketing and business guide for your strategic marketing plan. And there's also a business plan that you can get. And the value of all of these, if you were to purchase them as a non-member, would be about $200. So right there, you are saving a lot of money by becoming a member, because there's lots more education available for you at no cost when you are an IAHSP member. And I see Nikki's in the waiting room here. I'll bring you on in just a moment. We are holding a series of regional summits, home staging regional summits around the country. Denver is coming up June 24th. This is open to anybody in the industry. You don't have to be an IAHSP member to attend. It's education. And the reason for bringing the regionals to our members is because that's what you asked for. The industry professionals, we said, what would make you be able to attend a conference? And for everybody, they said, if you could come to us so that we didn't have to travel and have the hassle, leave our families and leave our business and have to get hotels and air flights and deal with all the travel hassle, which can be a lot, that would be ideal. So we listened, and we are planning a series of regionals throughout the country and in Canada. And so the Regional Summit in Denver is coming up on the 24th. We've got a great speaker lineup for you. And the topics we'll be covering will be everything from learning how to use AI to build your business, to help you run your business and streamline, to boost your exposure online so that you're found when people are doing searches. Because now when people search, I'm sure you've seen this too, when people do a Google search or you Google, the first thing that comes up is an AI result. And for Google, it would be Gemini. And so they're recommending people, and you can actually build up your profile. So there's the SEO, which is search engine optimization. And then there's I think it's your AIO, artificial intelligence optimization. So there's ways to actually build that in so that you are the one being recommended and being found. And so that's just one of the topics being covered. Also, your social media algorithms, when to post, what to post, etc. We'll do marketing and branding, lead generation, pricing, and the pricing will be specific for our market. So that's one of the challenges that I know a lot of stagers have, is that you're not taught how to price and you don't know what goes in our region, or you're given some general number, but it doesn't really suit your particular region. So the pricing will be going over how to price different projects, making sure that you're profitable. And that's another topic we're going to be talking about. We're going to have a realtor panel. What better way to find out what our real estate agents want from us than asking them? So we have a realtor panel that will be sharing with us. Then we're going to have a stager business panel, different business models of different staging companies, a solopreneur, a solopreneur that turned into a small team, a large volume production, a husband and wife team, an investor that became a staging company. So these different ways that people have entered the industry and other aspects that they do for their business. So we'll have them on a panel. There'll be also funding your business growth without going into debt. That'll be another topic. And we're going to have vendors and sponsors and so forth. So it's going to be a great day. It's only $99 right now for the early bird ticket. That includes lunch. And we're going to have a happy hour afterwards at a place down the street. This is being held at the Santa Fe Arts District in Denver. And so the location for the event is one place. And then the happy hour will be at a design showroom who wants to host us for happy hour. So that's all included for your one price. All the attendees are going to get the guides too, by the way. That's a $200 value. So sign up, register now, because early bird stops at the end of May. So May 31st, the $99 price is going to be going up. You don't want to miss out on this wonderful event that we're bringing directly to you to help you succeed. And these are the top 10 reasons for you to attend a regional, whether it's in Denver. We're planning in the Washington, D.C. area, South Florida. We'll be in Houston, hopefully Dallas, Northern California, the San Francisco Bay Area, and a couple other locations we're looking at, possibly Atlanta, Charlotte, and possibly Boston, and then also Toronto. So right now, those are the ones that are on the list. And so we would hope to see you here. If you do have to travel to get to a regional, we will be looking at putting together hotel recommendations. You would only need, maybe one night or 2 nights to maybe one night, I don't know, to be able to stay, but we'll put that together for you. But the number one reason, it's convenient. You don't have to travel when it's being in your local region. Affordability, I estimate between airfare, your transportation, having to get a taxi or Uber from an airport to get to a hotel, your hotel costs. Most events are 2 days, the bigger events. So you're leaving your business for a minimum 4 days because you have travel, the event, and then getting home, and so forth. And it's thousands of dollars because you're gone and you're away from your family. So you don't have to leave your family for days. You don't have airfare, hotel costs, the hassle, no rental car, taxis, Ubers. You get to network with local colleagues and vendors. So you're going to get some resources on your local level you may not be aware of, and they will be hosting the event and you get to talk with them. Info shared specific to your region. That's really crucial because oftentimes in an annual conference or a general conference, the numbers are general. But when you get to a region, we can get much more specific about what's going on specifically in your region, how the market is doing, how staging is growing, challenges people are having on the local level versus just a national. And then you want to grow and thrive in 2026. So with that, Nikki, you just disappeared. Where did you go? She was here and then she just left. Hopefully she'll come back in. Nikki Watson, for those of you who don't know, is an amazing industry professional. She has so many hats she wears. Here she is. I'm going to add you to the stage and you can introduce yourself to everybody. Good morning.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki Watson, and I am in Dallas, Texas, owner of the DesignSquad.
Oh, she's the owner of the DesignSquad and about 50 other things.
Other things too, but that's the main thing.
Well, and yes, so Nikki Watson is an amazing industry professional. Started her journey like many of us. You actually came from flooring, saw an opportunity when there was a vacuum, like you filled the vacuum because somebody who was big in Dallas left, and you stepped in, and you have built a huge company for staging and short-term rental and so forth. But you also have a lot of other things that you do.
A
So
lot of things, just the
share,
fun stuff.
yeah. So are you still doing HGTV shows? Are you still on?
We're done. So
We're done.
we did 2 shows on HGTV, and then after that we did the A&E show, which I loved working with the A&E production company. We are in talks of doing another show on A&E, but we haven't, it's been about 6 months or so. So we've been talking about doing something fun on that network, but no more TV as of right now. So we're
But you
looking
weren't
forward to maybe
you were on the
doing.
zombie. You were on the Zombie
Mhm.
Hunters. Is that the show? Zombie
Yeah,
House Hunters.
zombie house flipping. Yeah.
So what was that about? Because I didn't catch any of the episodes because I haven't watched HGTV in so long. Just who I don't have. I mean,
It's
I
great.
love that channel. But was it what kind of houses were they? Were they just icky houses, or were they haunted
Just
houses, or
yeah, just old houses.
old
Like
houses?
they're talking about the zombie being brought back to life is the house. So
Oh, okay, I
basically,
see.
yeah,
Cool.
it was nothing scary going on. But I know that there's one coming out in September that's pretty exciting, like a haunted house
I
series or
saw
something.
that. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
gonna be fun.
I know like parts of the country, like Louisiana, especially New Orleans, because they have
Yes.
like they say that the stadium is haunted because it's built
Yes.
over a graveyard, and so you get these different stories. And I've had a couple of experiences here like 3 of them here in Denver, where
Oh.
oh yeah, there was one time we were staging up in the foothills, and we always unlock the house with the key. We get it, and then usually we leave it in the door so we don't forget to put it back.
Mhm.
And the team staged, and the key just vanished. It just was gone. And then when they were staging, they heard footsteps upstairs, but there was nobody there. And
Oh,
so I know that's just one. Yeah, it's
I would be out. Be out. No
I
way.
know.
I would not want to. Oh no, no, no.
Yeah.
I'm too scared for that. I would definitely be out of there. They'd be like, "Where'd Nikki go?" Out.
I know,
She's
we're
gone.
out.
She's
Bye.
in her
Like
car.
you'd be like that trail, like the road runner, like the smoke behind you. So you just, phew.
God. Oh my gosh, that would freak me out. But
So in addition to running her staging company, she has written books. She has courses. Um, you have done charitable organizations. You're helping women, get established. You've done so much, so the grass does not grow under your feet at all.
no.
And your latest venture, of course, very excited, is with Zuo. And so
Yes.
let's talk about this. It is not coming soon. I pulled this off their site, but it is actually here. So there's a collection, a home staging collection that you have
Yes.
curated with their items. And so
Hmm.
let's talk about that, because this is something that, I mean, I go back, I want to say like 8-10 years, talking with Jenna Usselton one time about doing this with Coaster, because
Um,
I know that probably the genesis of this too is when you are looking at buying furniture and a company has 50,000 SKUs or something like that. And
yes.
I just want a couch. I want a couple of chairs or something like that. I don't have time to go through all of that and search.
No.
So I'm like, we need to curate things for stagers that are price friendly, that are,
Yes.
I push a button and I order it. So talk
Hmm.
about the collection.
This is basically that what exactly what you said is exactly what I was thinking. We don't have anything specific specifically for us. So I know I personally spend a lot of money when it comes to these brands, these manufacturers, and I kind of felt when I started going to market, I kind of felt overlooked. I've only been going to market for 2 years, and when I realized that I didn't have a rep for Coaster in particular, that was crazy because I'm looking at my invoices and I'm like, I'm spending over $300,000 a year
Mhm.
and for just that one manufacturer. And I'm thinking I probably should have somebody that I can call if something goes wrong or if I need to place an order, somebody that I can reach out to. But I didn't have that. So they wouldn't take returns. It was a problem.
And the thing is,
And
Coaster's headquartered in Dallas.
they're right in Fort Worth. So they're like 15 minutes from our warehouse.
Yeah, so
So
you
we're
think,
there picking up
yes, you'd think it'd
everything.
be like a no-brainer for you to have somebody, but you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of these brands, I feel like we're all of us are spending money.
Mhm.
There's the luxury stagers. I can name Sandra and Blair and all of
Mhm.
those people are
Karen, yeah,
spending
all these people, Bridget.
super. yeah, they're spending a lot of money,
Hmm.
but I don't feel like that they are considering our business because they cater to designers, and designers are, I mean, they're doing their own thing, but we are buying in volume. So we're
Right,
not doing, one, they may buy one couch because that's the vendor they need, but we're going to buy 50.
right,
So it's a different thing. And I feel like we should have precedence over a designer anytime because we're buying more inventory.
right.
So when I thought about that, when I started going to market, and I was like, who caters to us? And there was nobody. So when, we do have partners that support our industry, but they didn't necessarily get what we did either. So when I did start the conversation with Zuo, I was like, we need affordable, we need fast to get, we need something that will fit in most properties. And they're like, hey, well, let's do it. Let's get together and figure it out. I didn't necessarily want my name on it because it really wasn't about me. It was about our industry. And that's what I wanted to make or create, was a partnership with a brand that understood or heard what we needed from them.
Which is really important. And you're right. When I know, probably Blair I would say Blair was probably the first one, and Sandra going to market and really paving the way for the staging industry, because Blair had retail stores, so he was going there anyway, purchasing. And so, but you're right, we were sort of like the ugly stepchild of the design world for so long, and then
Oh,
we go to market, and
wow.
they're like, what's a stager? And Karen
Yeah,
Mendenhall tells the story of
you're a
going to market.
stager.
Yeah, she'd been trying to get a company to purchase. She wanted to buy couches and things from them, and they blew her off. They just would not return her calls. So she made a point of going to their showroom and saying, "This is who I am. I have tried reaching you guys. You know how many couches I bought since the first time I called you to now? It's like 100 couches." And so they kind of go, "Wow!" Their eyes perk up. Now we don't have big retail stores, but we certainly have warehouses, and
Right.
we have to replace things. And so the awareness of the home staging industry is getting better, but I still feel like they don't give us the level of respect as far as how buying group and collectively
Yes.
that we deserve, for
Yeah,
sure.
we have buying power. Like we should,
Mhm.
I know in the flooring industry, because that's where I come from, they have buying power. If they're buying for several stores or a lot of these companies, they can leverage that. But
Right,
we can get discounts, and I feel like, yeah, they're giving us discounts. They're giving us warehouse price, wholesale
right.
pricing.
Yeah,
But I think it could be better. And that's what I want to work on. I want to get to a point where we have our own pricing, we have everything that we need for our industry, and that then every other brand will be looking like, how can I cater to you guys, and how
right.
can I help you in your business, because we are important. And I think that's just, it was so overlooked to me, and it really was irritating at one point, and I was thinking, nobody understands us. they don't
Well,
they don't get it.
they don't, and because usually for stagers, I don't know if you guys are like me, those of you watching right now, but you're like, oh my gosh, I need 3 couches. I have these coming up, and so you need them like right away. You can't wait 6 weeks for
Exactly.
something to be delivered. And so being able
Exactly.
to find a manufacturer that can meet that time frame, the price point, we want to stretch $1. I mean, if I got a
Price
certain
point.
budget, I'm like, I'm going to try to squeeze as much furniture pieces as I can. And we all
Yes.
know in the staging industry, the items look good. They're basically, they're a prop. They're not prop furniture, but they're a prop to help the house
Right.
sell. They're not meant to be lived on and sat on. So they don't have to be super heavy and super strong construction. And so
Yes.
a manufacturer that understands that then can bring get us something that looks good at a
Mhm.
price where we can afford it based on our budgets for the project. And
Exactly.
and Zoo
That's
is a great
exactly.
company. I love
They
Luis. He's
are.
a great guy. I love their furniture. It's always really kind of that modern edge a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
also they have fun different fabrics, different shapes. I love
Hmm.
their outdoor collection. So
Really
tell us
good.
tell us some of the things that you have put together for them.
So basically, what I did is kind of what our industry is based on, the 3-room package, like the base package. So living, dining, primary suite. So I created 6 different packages for those areas. And then people can switch out if they're like, oh, I really like these bar stools better than these, they can switch them out. But these are just click, ready to go, ship, ready to ship. They can have them 3 to 5 days. So that's important when it comes to our business. If you get a big contract, you don't want to go to 50 different stores. First of all, you're paying retail. You
Right.
don't want to pay retail because that hurts your bottom line. And this is wholesale pricing, and they specialize in hospitality. So like hotels, so that everything is really well made. You're not going to have to keep buying it over and over again. We did talk about price point. So this is one thing that I'm very transparent about. It's not the price point that I would want, going forward, but he's willing to, help us talk about discounts, volume pricing. So it is a great conversation that is getting started for us and on our side. And I feel I'm so happy that I was able to do this for all of us.
Right. And thank you, because I know it took time, and speaking about time, when somebody has to buy things, you're online, you're looking, you're searching, your time is money.
Oh,
So being
yeah.
able to just go and push a button now, Zuo usually gives us like stocking dealer pricing, and they
Yes.
usually give, they have different perks and things for the association members. And so I'll
Mhm.
talk to Luis about, what he can do with those packages for the association
Oh,
in
yeah.
the industry, because what we don't want is that, that's priced to a point where people go, well, I like those items, but I can get something similar on Wayfair or Amazon or Overstock.
Right.
We don't want that. We want to direct the
Mhm.
buying power. And I also find that a lot of the manufacturers, they're not tracking our purchases.
They're not.
They'll say, oh,
Mhm.
you've never purchased anything from us. I'm like, the heck I haven't. I
Yeah.
bought like, $25,000 with you at this thing. And I bought over here, and they don't track it. And
They're
so in their
not.
mind, they're thinking, well, stagers aren't buying from us.
That's
And,
right.
and that we have tried so many different things to try to streamline, to try to control the process, to make sure our members get delivery, they get attention from their reps.
Mhm.
Because you're not the first one to say that, for example, Coaster, and I'm not trying to bash Coaster, they're a huge company, but I know in
Yeah.
Southern California, they weren't responding to stagers who needed help. And there's actually a distribution center, I believe, there. And so they had to go to a different rep to get attention, because their regional rep just blew them off. And
Yeah.
that's so foolish, because I know maybe those reps are focused on the big retail stores.
That's right.
However, a stager can purchase a lot, and then collectively we purchase a lot, a
A
lot. I mean,
lot.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Over the years, I'm looking at my numbers and I'm like, there's no way. So when they did realize that they had just had my account in a general account setup.
mhm,
So I just look like a regular buyer. And when they realized what was going on, they were like, oh my gosh, so now I have a rep. I can call him. I text him all the time. When we place an order in the morning, he has it ready before 8 a.m. Like, it's really good service now.
yeah,
But all of these years we've been operating, and I mean, we had nobody, and I felt very alone when it came to, I'm spending good money with you guys, and I
right.
just don't feel appreciated. So now, the difference is there, but also they don't ship everywhere. So that's another thing that, with Zuo is more convenient, because they ship across the country. If you're in a small town somewhere, you'll be able to get wholesale pricing from this manufacturer, and a lot of people don't even have access to that.
That's critical, because when we're looking at partnering with different manufacturers, we're usually looking like they're either East Coast or West Coast distribution.
Yeah.
There's very few that are in the middle of the country. I'm sort of in that
Mhm.
place where no matter where they come from, I'm going to have to pay shipping. I
Yeah,
always envy the people that can drive up to a warehouse and pick things up, or just a storefront, because we don't have that.
I
But
know.
but that's great that Zuo does ship anywhere, so you're not limited. And
Yes.
I believe in conversations with them too, that they have an international capability as well. So we were talking with them about our Europe group. You blacked out, Nikki. I don't know if your screen, something happened. Oh, there you are.
Okay,
Okay.
here I am.
You're back.
Sorry.
No, no, it's okay. So with Zuo, so I don't have the information. I would love for you to send me a link or send me information on the different collections. So I want to get that pushed out to the memberships. I want to share all of that, because I would love to support the new venture. Love to support Zuo. Zuo has been a great industry partner for IHOSP and other groups as well. I always love going to their showroom. It was always fun. They always have their
Yes.
bar set up with the drinks and the goodies and candies and stuff. And again, the owners, I always kind of go up to who the owners of the company are. And
Yes.
Luis he's a good person.
It's been really
They're
good to work with him.
Yeah,
It's
and they're
been
out of
great.
Northern California, I believe, right?
Mhm.
They're
Yes.
so
Mhm.
so when we have reached out to him a couple days ago when we have our regional event in the San Francisco Bay Area. I had asked maybe we could host it at their showroom or their place if it's
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's feasible.
Mhm.
because these regional events, instead of having them at a hotel, and which are very expensive, and other places that are kind of sterile, like our in Denver, we're doing it at a flooring showroom that also sells furniture,
Oh,
and then we're going to go down the street to a design center that you can order furniture from too. So the stagers or the people that attend, stagers, designers, agents, will be able to actually, see some product as well, not just sit in a chair in some boring room. And so
oh,
I think
that's
it's good to partner with the
fun.
manufacturers. We can bring people into their showrooms on a regional around the regions. That would be beneficial too. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, and what else you have coming up in the works? Well, let me think. So I went, I'm going to get a little personal, not in depth, but your birthday's coming up, right?
Yeah,
Is it in June, right?
in June. I'm excited. I
So where are
don't
you going?
know.
You were going to plan a trip to go somewhere. So what did you decide?
Yes, so I am, which is crazy just to think about because, so this is 50. I will be 50 next month. And everybody, I'm the youngest in my class of my classmates. So everybody's already done their parties and trips and um, cruises and all kinds of stuff. So they've done everything already. And I'm just like, what should I do? Everybody's done everything. And I'm a fan of Alanis Morissette. Like I am obsessed with her, and she has concerts overseas. So she's been to Brazil. She's been in the UK, all kind of places, and she does have some concerts in Canada in July. But my birthday weekend, she's in gonna be in London. So
Nice.
I'm gonna go to London to see her. It's gonna be at a castle.
Oh,
So I'm gonna see her concert in a castle for my birthday weekend.
that is
So
awesome. You're going to have fun.
I'm
That's
so excited.
exciting. Are you going by yourself?
I'm going by myself.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Well, and I get it though, because when you're a person like you that is constantly being pulled in different directions and your time is, in demand, and you're constantly, being able to just to get away and just be you and not have
Yes.
anything else in the, to distract or whatever. I think that totally makes sense, just to get away and celebrate. Although if you want to connect with colleagues there, we can get you connected because there's a lot of
I
stagers in the
know. I thought
area.
about that. I met somebody. I probably still follow her on Instagram.
Well,
Um,
there was Paloma, but she moved to Spain, so she was
oh,
in
did
London.
she?
Yeah, yeah, she's in Spain.
Oh,
So
that's
she
what I
left.
was talking thinking about,
Yeah, yeah.
Paloma.
Yeah, she became a
Oh,
realtor, and she's
yeah.
also they still also design and style houses and stuff. But she's in Spain, but there's still like Natalie. She came to our conference in New Orleans, um,
Okay.
and I believe she was in Vegas too. She came to Las Vegas in the 2024, so she's there, and she helps run the HSA, the Home Staging Association in London. So maybe we can get
Okay.
you connected if you want to. But I don't want you to do
I would
work. It's
love,
your birthday.
no,
You
I
don't.
would
I'm
like
not.
to see people, know somebody there.
Yeah, just have
I
them
would
show
love
you
that.
around. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a Elaine Penhall. They live about 2 or 3 hours outside of London, and she has a big business, Lemon and Lime, and but she also does a lot of the data and the statistics. And so John and I stayed with she and her husband Rob when we were there in November 2023. And beautiful country.
Oh,
It was like
wow.
I said to her, "Go, why would you ever leave? I would never leave and go into the city. It's so gorgeous." And so if you reach out to me if you want me to get you connected for some people that can
Yes,
show you the town.
absolutely.
And
I
you never know,
love that.
Blair and Will go there quite frequently too.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, so
Okay.
maybe they pal around. And
That'd
then
be
something
fun.
else you just put out on, I think it was yesterday on social about the potential book you want to write. And
Yes.
I think for those that don't know your story, and I think you should write the book. I think it would be very inspiring. I even thought of like a title from victim, and you take the TIM, put a cross through it, and put TORY
Ooh,
victory.
I love that.
Yeah, something like that. Because so kind of, would you mind sharing a little bit of the background on that?
Yes, so I was thinking about, as you approach
Your
these
journey.
ages,
Yep.
you're thinking, oh, what I've been through and all this kind of thing. And I know the most impactful year for me was the year I graduated high school. And I tell a lot of people everything that could happen to a person pretty much happened to me in that year. My parents were together for 21 years. They announced in January that they were separating. February, I found out I was pregnant by my high school sweethearts with twins. We all graduated in May. I turned 18 in June. 2 weeks later, I have premature twins. They were born at 26 weeks. and you're twins, so you know this.
Mhm.
They're born at 26 weeks. They had to stay in the NICU for 3 months until their gestational date. In October, they came home. The first week of them being home, I had my first domestic violence event happen. Um, at fresh 18-year-old, not knowing, two brand new babies. This was, basically this is your life now, and you really don't know what to do and who to tell and all that. So I'm going through all these emotions, not really, my mom just went through this terrible divorce, so I didn't want to put that on her. So it was a lot of things going on. So we ended, this all happened in Kansas, moved back to Texas the next month. His parents basically make us get married. And I knew then that this was the wrong choice. Like, I should not marry this guy. But we had been together, since 15. This is the choice. This is what's happening. So everything happened between January and November of 1994. So all of those things happened at one time, and it was a huge year for me. So everything else that happened after that, which is lots and lots, want to kind of get the story out there, tell people that, if you're in those kind of situations, you do have options. I remember my
Mhm.
dad asking me, he was like, "Well, why didn't you say," when I finally left, he was like, "Why didn't you say anything?" I was like, "Because I was trying to be grown." And that was my answer, because it
Mhm.
was true. I was trying to be an adult, and I was trying to handle my business the best way I could, and I didn't know what else to do. So yes,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
mean,
I'm thinking about, getting out
Cir-
there.
exactly. And the circumstances. So people, if you had stayed, I mean, your life would have been very different. And this is the man that told you you would never amount to anything.
Yes, the
Yes.
same.
And you,
Hmm.
when you were like, I'm not going to do the sign, but like to him, you're like, I'll do the
Right.
European one, and you were like, I'm going to start, I'm going to get into staging. And it's sort of like, you haven't looked back and you've just moved forward. You didn't allow someone else to define who you were. You didn't allow somebody else to hold you back. You didn't allow him to continue to abuse you.
That's true.
And what a great example for your daughters too, who just turned 26. Is that right? Oh, no,
Right.
no,
The twins will be 32 in July.
32. Oh my gosh.
32. This is
Wow.
crazy. Time is flying. Yes, 32 years old. And then my youngest, which came right after them, she just turned 30 in February. So they're really close in age. Everybody was really young. When all this was happening, we kind
Yeah.
of grew up together. So you don't really know that it's bad when you're in it. When you're so young, you're just living. So that's all I was doing, was just living, trying to figure out, what's next,
Surviving. Yeah.
surviving.
Mhm.
And that was, all the life that I knew. So now, totally different life. All of these things happen immediately. And this is another thing I tell, especially my family, female family, nieces, people that are going through things. I'm like, as soon as you let go of what's holding you back, and you don't know what that is, it's something, whatever's holding you back, as soon as that's out of your life, things change so drastically for you. You're never going to look back, because that was the thing that you were like, "Oh, this is my security." Even with the job, that
Mhm.
my job at the flooring company, that was my security. And as soon as I let it go, it was like all these doors open.
Yeah. Well, fear holds people back, and they'd
Absolutely.
rather stay in what they know versus facing the unknown, because it's
Yes.
risky, and
It
fear,
is.
um, you know, it's false evidence appearing real, as some people have heard that definition. So we build up this thing in our minds about what it's going to be like, and then to the point where we're not willing to take that step and take a risk and get out
Right.
there. And so thank God you did. You've been such a blessing to the industry. Everybody you know and you work with, they love you. And you're such a great advocate. You're such a great representative of the industry and everything that you've done. And so I can't imagine if you had not taken that leap of faith
I
and gotten
know.
out of your circumstances, how
It,
that you wouldn't be here.
I
You know,
know. Fear is definitely a choice. Like, you either choose fear or not. Like, I think that all the time. Like, I was so afraid to what people would think. So we were heavily, really religious people going to church, and I was thinking, "Oh, my church members will never talk to me again." They're my biggest cheerleaders. If you look at my timeline, most of the people that are saying, "Go girl, you did it," are people from that life. And it blows me away because it's so heart touching, because I thought those were the people that would turn their backs on me.
Well, I mean, if they're true believers, you don't
Yes.
judge, you support and you love, and it's also
Exactly.
everybody has stuff going on behind the doors.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't make it public, but everybody has struggles, and it could be
Everywhere.
things like you dealt with. It could be financial. It could be things with their kids or whatever. And so, that's one of the things I said about social media is people put out all the positive, like how great my
Yes.
life is, and
Mhm.
how great my staging business is, and everything's going great. You don't put the junk out there that you're dealing with on a daily
No.
basis, where you want to pull your hair out or you're struggling. And I wish people would share more of that. That's why I admire you for putting that out there, because I think more people need to know the stories like that you can go from victim to victory and be able to have, you basically built the life of your dreams. Everything from the last time you were on, we talked about the house that you
Mhm.
have and the builder and how you had it all specified in your mind, and all of a sudden you came up and there it was, including the gazebo. I mean, everything, so you've really, you're definitely a great example of not holding yourself back, not letting anybody limit you, and then
Yes.
going for your dreams. And you work hard, I know. So it hasn't just been like falling in your lap.
Right.
But
Right.
I feel like whom much is given, much is expected, right?
Yes.
So you've been given a lot and you give back a lot too. So I want to thank you for that.
Mhm.
Those of you watching, we will get the collection information. I'll put it in the segment information. We'll also email it out. We'll put it on our site. Let's get some business for Zuo, because this is the first real home
Yes.
staging venture, and I would love to see it duplicated with other companies as well. So,
Absolutely.
anything else you want to share? Anything else exciting that you're working on?
I am actually, I have a meeting on Friday, which is, this is so premature, but I'm hopeful. I also want to do with the furniture piece. We buy more than furniture. I also want to do art and accessories packages. So everything, I mean, I want it to be super complete where we can just order it, have it there, and everything is done. So that's my next kind of adventure. And I think that for me, my business is running itself. Like, I don't have to be there. I learned that, my dad passed a couple of years ago, and I told the girls, "Oh, I'll be out for like 2 weeks." And they're like, "Okay." And I looked up and nobody had called me. Nobody had messaged me for 2 whole weeks. And I was thinking, well, do I really have to be there? Like, that this is this is
Yeah,
crazy. And that's when I realized and started doing other businesses, because I realized I didn't have to be in my business. So we a couple weeks ago, I think I posted it maybe a month ago, we did 8 properties in one day. So our normal
hmm
is 6. We did 8. And I'm thinking, are we growing, or is that too much? Is that crazy? But I remember thinking that same thing when we were doing 3 a day. And I was like, oh my God, 3 a day is crazy. And now and 6 is our normal. And it has been for at least 3 years. So right after COVID, I remember us growing like crazy. We were buying furniture every single day. And I was thinking, are we going to be able to maintain this? Is this crazy? I mean, like, what's going on? And it is actually just been the best thing. But I'm not there every day. So when I do see a house and the girls, or when I go to a job and the girls are like, "What are you doing here, girl? You don't
yeah,
belong here. This is fake." Especially for TV. So when we film those shows, I'm on there like acting like I do this every day, and they're looking at me like,
yeah.
"Girl, whatever. This
But
is so fake."
what you had, I'm the same. I don't go in. I haven't been in the field for like over 2 years.
Yes.
I trust the team, so I help.
Yes.
I help manage and do different things. But I don't want to be in the field. My expertise is
Right.
better, doing the business side, and then I have the
Yes.
association, the courses and stuff. So it is liberating, freeing, and then they have the freedom. I'm not a micromanager either. We have a new stager that joined us, and she was working for another company, and so she asked me how much control is there on from my side to tell them what to do. And I said, really, outside of telling you guys the types of properties it is and so forth, picking the items and selections, that's you
Mhm.
guys get to do that. You get to
That's
pick the
up to you.
colors. Yeah. And because
Yeah.
I think that's the fun part for the stagers,
That
it's
is,
just been like,
yeah.
here's your box and stuff. You can only use these items, or you have to pick this thing. So I think that's definitely
Terrible. No,
liberating. Yeah. Yeah.
no. I think that you give them as much creative control, because they feel like they have their stamp on it, and then they have sense of ownership to it. So they feel like they're a part of your business,
Hmm.
and they feel like it's a part of them. So I love that part about, letting go. I remember when Amy, my first stager, came and she was like, "Okay, I got it," and I was like, "You got it?" She said, "Yeah, oh yeah, I got it," because I was showing her my style and what I like and what I don't like. And she was like, I'm good," and she trained for maybe a month, and after that she ran with it, and my business was able, because then I was able to go market and get business, and it grew 10 times, I think, within a year. So I love that they feel like this is mine. I can make all the decisions, and they do amazing. So I'm good. I love that they take it and run with it, and I can just do all this other crazy stuff that I that I come
So
up
you said,
with.
you said Friday you have a meeting. Is it a new, different venture?
Yes, a different vendor. They do mostly art and accessories. They don't do the big furniture.
Okay.
So I would stick with Zuo for the furniture piece, because what he wants as phase two is for us to actually sit down, create products that we need that are like lightweight, price point. We're gonna get everything right on target. So this is the first phase of this collection, but like I said, I'm glad that they're listening to us.
Well, there could even be like a panel of, stagers who purchase, getting ideas and then feeding that
Mhm.
to Zuo.
Yeah,
Because even like the fabrics, they have a lot of
fabric.
velvets,
Hmm.
which is nice, but that's not always
But we
suitable for all
don't, yeah,
houses.
we
Yeah.
don't
So
need that.
I would like to see, and then there's some fabrics that we have, like I've got these two couches that, or actually maybe three of them, and they're kind of like this creamy white linen fabric. I hate it. I hate it because it gets stained. I
Oh
hate that
yeah,
fabric. I would never buy
yeah,
another thing in it because it doesn't hold up well. So we need
no,
performance fabric that's easy to clean, and so that'll be
yes,
really good.
that
Um,
is. Yeah.
excited. And you also are into developing real estate development too. I saw that
Yes.
on, yes. So what are you doing with that?
So about 2019, I started building properties, and I didn't like flips. I never wanted to be a flipper. So I started doing ground up construction, and I absolutely love it. I feel like that's going to be my retirement career. So I'll probably do that forever. And I just buy lots and do affordable housing, what they call entry level housing, and because it's just not, if you think about what's out there for people to buy, it's really not anything that's affordable. So I really like that piece, and we can get creative with the interiors, because we're designers, so we know
Right.
what looks good. So I think that giving somebody that something that looks great at a great price point is what I'm all about. So I've been loving that part. I really love building, and I think I'll do it for a while.
You should send me information on that too. I'd love to learn more about what you're doing. And I
Mhm.
love the fact that, I feel like more women should be designing houses, because how many houses have
Yes.
we been in where you go into the laundry room and you're like, where am I going to put my vacuum? Because there's no closet or tall cabinet. So then you have to
Right.
stick everything on the wall. I mean, just something basic like that, or like a
Yes.
pantry that's deep enough or big enough for, to function. The functionality and the storage. Oftentimes, I'm not dissing all men, architects and builders and so forth, but a lot of times they don't really think about the actual living aspect of the property. Yeah.
You're exactly right. Those are some of the things that I walk in some of these houses and I'm like, why would you put that there? That is
Yeah.
crazy. So I think the same thing. So we just finished our house, our personal home in December, right before Christmas, which was crazy. It took 4 months to build, and everything that we wanted in a house, we put it on our plan, because we're like, this is forever. We don't have a mortgage. We built cash. So we're like, this is going to be our forever house. And I'm looking at different things. I'm like, oh, maybe I would have changed this. But once you live in it, you feel what you would have done differently. But the thing, most of the everything we love. My husband wanted all these hidden rooms and doors and crazy stuff. So
So you're not in the house anymore with the gazebo. So you moved in. Did you move in December?
we moved in December. So we sold our old house in March of last year, and we moved into our tiny house at the lake, 450 square feet.
But when you live in a little space like that, don't you feel like I have so much stuff? You don't really need a whole lot.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Jenny, I didn't realize how much stuff I had. And
Mhm.
really felt when we moved here, I felt bad, because I was like, I just need to throw everything away, because there's so much stuff that we lived without when we were living in that tiny space. I was like, we got everything we need right here.
Mhm.
There's nothing else we need outside of this. And then we go to this big storage unit from the old house. I'm like, get rid of it all. It is just, it is excess. Like
Yeah.
everybody has too much stuff. Like I
Well,
know I get rid of things and I'm not like a hoarder, but I know that I do have my bathroom stuff was overwhelming. I was like, I just get rid of it all because it's just too much. We as consumers, I think we consume a lot of things and you
yeah.
don't realize that until you have a situation like this. We can live with less.
Oh, for sure. Like we came back from, we had driven home for Christmas, and we came back to Colorado, and the house that we were renting flooded. The pipes had burst because it got really cold here. And so we walk in the front door and there's like water on the floor and I can hear it. I'm like, oh no, this can't be good. And so, I mean, ceilings had fallen in, paint was peeling off the wall. It was just a total nightmare. And so from that, like 80% of our furniture was destroyed. We ended up in a hotel for 3 months, and we had two bedrooms with the 6 of us and our dog. We had a little kitchenette, a little family room, 2 bedrooms. So one bedroom had 2 beds in it. Ours had the king size bed. And we were in that for 3 months. And I realized like you're right. All the excess, like we had what we needed, and all the other stuff, went into the dumpster because it was destroyed, or, and I thought, I don't need 6 couches again. I only need, 2 couches. And, when we have the space, we fill it up. And over in Europe, their spaces are much smaller. So they do look at, like in America, we do consume a lot and we have a lot of things, and mementos. And I don't know. I even our garage is so full of stuff. And when your parents die, then you get their stuff. And it's like, my warehouse even has a whole section of the family stuff that was from my mother-in-law, that for the kids. And so I'm like, you guys got to go through this stuff, because it's not only is it taking up space, but it's like, do you really want it? Or if not, let's get rid of it. So
Exactly. I already told my mom, I was like, when things happen, I'm not going through this. Like, this is not going to be me. And she's like, you're responsible. I know. But I'm going to call a person and say, hey, come get all this. I'm not going through
yeah,
anything, because she
yeah,
has a shopping problem, and I'm just not doing that.
that's smart. Well, I'm so thankful that you were able to join us for the show. Thank you for spending, investing time with Zuo to get this collection up. I definitely want to push it out and learn more. I'm excited for what you're doing for Friday. I don't know which company it is. I know there's a couple of those accessory only, and there are companies that are really great. So I'm excited to see who that might be. And anyway, we'll have you on when that happens. We can get you back on here to talk about that and curating the collections for the staging industry. And any last words?
I'm just thankful to be able to, be a voice for our industry. I'm really excited about the things that are happening, and I just want us to be in the forefront of people's minds when they think about, who's making an impact, and especially in the real estate world. Like we are making a huge impact, and we definitely need to have more presence, and people need to know more about us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, happy early birthday. I hope you have a fabulous trip. I know you'll be posting pictures. You're gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
And then we'll catch up. Hopefully when you get back, that'll be exciting, and learn everything about your next ventures. So thanks, Nikki, for being on.
Thank
Yeah, you
you.
bet. Bye.
See
Thanks
you
everybody else for
later.
tuning in. We'll be back on Wednesday with Jonathan Miller. Hopefully his Wi-Fi will be working, and we'll be able to talk about how why underpricing kills design, his new book. Thanks, everyone.